Hello everyone, this is Hendrik from Czech DC-9 project. You will not see anything, but you may hear it if you put your volume high enough. This is about the audio panel. This one comes from the captain side, and it is connected via connector. Lots of shielded wires that comes into this thing here, which is just a simple 7 sound cards connected into one hub and assigned to different functions. From each sound card, a jack is connected going into the output jacks from this board, and the output jacks are going into the first officer and the captain's panel. You see each second is connected. That's for the DME1, that's for the ADF, that's for the marker signal, that's for the VR2, VR1, and etc. It's for VHF1 signal that comes from the sound cards and going through the cables into the audio panel and then into the mix pult here. So VHF1 is going, the VHF1 cable is going into the VHF1 pot here. Then you can mix all the signals together, and there's one output, which is this one here, called captain speakers, and that goes into my amplifier, which is right now this speakers on my table. So now how it works, the signals from what I tune into the nav frequencies. This is a VOR frequency 112.6. It's Oscar Kilo Lima VOR, and 114.65 that's VOR DME, and 114.65 is DME only, called Romeo Victor Charlie or Revničov in Czech language. That only sends DME. So even though I would put a VR2 on that frequency, you will not hear anything, because that is not a VOR, that is a DME. So that's a lot of sound cards. One more sound card will be added for VHF2 communication, because the VHF needs also inputs. That's a mic input for VHF1, one for the captain, second for first officer, and I need 2 more inputs from mics to VHF2, but we need 2 clients to WATSIM to be able to connect, to be able to speaking to controllers independently. So for example, I will be the pilot flying, and I would like to speak to one controller, and the first officer will be the pilot monitoring, and he will be on the primary frequency. For example, I would like to say to the tower that we get limited to tailwind or etc. So if I tune on my VHF1, for example, or 2, no matter, any frequency, and I switch to mic into the VHF1 or VHF2, I need 2 separate channels to be able to communicate with. And that's not possible on one computer only. If you want to speak to controller on WATSIM, you can only speak to only one person. If you want to speak to 2, you need 2 computers, 2 clients, 2 WATSIM connections. So there's only one VHF1 communication sound card. This one is for ADF, DME2, DME1 markers. That download is VR1. And this one is VR2. 7 sound cards. All they are continuously sending their signals once they are tuned. So for example, now I'm connected to a VETSIM, and on VHF channel 122.15 is connected, and something is broadcasting. That's the ATIS for Praha Ruzyně. If I turn this on, I can set the volume, and you hear that you receive information kilo. If I turn this off, it will stop broadcasting. This is VOR1, which is 112.6, which will only give me Morse code of the VOR1. I also put a VHF noise into these channels, and also the far you are from the station. I'm measuring the distance from FSA PC, and the far you are, the weaker the signal is, and so then you're lost completely. But it's the noise is there, so that's pretty good. VR2 will do nothing because that's the DME frequency tuned, Romeo Victor Charlie in Czech Republic, which is not VOR, it's DME only. So the VOR will not do any tone, but if I tune the DME2, it will give me Romeo Victor Charlie. Romeo Victor Charlie, and you hear the noise. I need to put a lot of volume into that to hear, because the station is very far away from us. Now the DME1 will be absolutely the same as the VOR1, because that's VOR DME on the same frequency, and that is called Oscar Kilo Lima. Oscar Kilo Lima. The same on VOR1. Oscar Kilo Lima, and the ADF is, what is it? That's Lima. That's the marker of runway 24. But if I put the same amount of noise here into, for example, the VOR, check out the amount of noise. Have some noise here. But the amount of the Morse code that is sending from that station, it's much higher level, because we are very near to the station. So that's why the ADF is sending a lot more volume. Sure, you can mix all these together.
Information 02200, RF approach, runway 24, transition level 70, method, direct issue F2200, wind 04034.
And that's it, that's the audio panel for captain side. The audio panel for first officer side is also done. We got all these cables, we got all these things done. Only waiting for some other things, and okay guys, that's Hendrik from Czech DC-9 project. Hope to see you next time. Bye bye.